I'm about to suggest something that sounds absolutely ridiculous. Popcorn classics. Yes, you heard that right. And I know how it sounds. Like it's literary junk food or something, right? But hear me out. Hi, I'm Anna, and this is Tucker, and we hope you're having a great day. Here's what usually happens with classics. Someone tells you they're important. You dutifully add them to your TBR. Then they sit there glaring at you for months because you're intimidated. Or you finally pick one up and it's so dense, serious, or depressing that reading feels like homework. You finish feeling accomplished, but not necessarily entertained. Well, something weird happened to me when I was reading Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for the first time. It's classic Gothic literature. It should be serious and intimidating, right? But instead, I raced through it in one sitting because it was genuinely thrilling. It was short, atmospheric, and entertaining. I finished thinking, that was actually kind of fun to read. Then I started noticing some other classics that were more entertaining than intimidating, more page-turner than literary vegetable. That's when I realized that these were popcorn classics, books that have earned their place in the literary canon, but are also genuinely entertaining to read. They're classics that don't feel like homework. Think of it as gateway classic literature, books that prove not all important literature requires suffering through dense prose or depressing themes. Now, I know popcorn classics sounds like an oxymoron. I'm basically taking that popcorn meme where everybody sits back eating popcorn, waiting for the drama to unfold, and applying it to literature from the 1800s. It's ridiculous, but I think it works. These are classics you can approach with that same entertainment-first energy instead of, I must suffer through this for my education. So, what's my criteria for making the popcorn classics list? Let me tell you. It's got to be genuinely entertaining. Page turners that happen to be classics as well. Accessible language. No dictionary required every other sentence. A manageable length. Most of these are under 300 pages, readable in a weekend, maybe even in one sitting, since a few of them are short stories. Engaging plots. Adventure, mystery, humor, or compelling characters. Gateway potential. Books that make you want to read more classics. What doesn't count for this list? Dense philosophical treatises designed as novels. Classics that require extensive historical context to understand. Books where the prose is more important than plot or character. Anything that feels like assigned reading punishment. We're not in school anymore. Let's get into the list of 10 popcorn classics. And if you stay to the end, I have a bonus popcorn classic for you. The first one is The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. Of course, I have to start this list off with my gateway drug into popcorn classics. This Victorian thriller is only 96 pages, but it packs more suspense than most modern psychological thrillers. The concept of good and evil in one person was revolutionary, but the execution is pure entertainment. Gothic atmosphere, mysterious transformations, foggy London streets. It reads like a really good horror movie. It's perfect for people who think classics are boring because this one absolutely isn't. A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I'm super annoyed because I have a really beautiful illustrated copy of this book, and I can't find it anywhere. So I'm going to put the cover up here in the corner. But I do actually own this book, and I have read it, I promise. And you probably know this story from the movies, but the original novella is surprisingly engaging and pretty funny. Dickens knew how to write crowd pleasers. And this redemption story moves at a perfect pace. 3 ghosts, time travel, social commentary wrapped in an entertaining package. It's basically a feel-good fantasy with deeper themes. At under 100 pages, it's proof that Dickens could write light, focused stories. When he wanted to, that is. Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. This Depression-era story of friendship and dreams packs incredible emotional punch into just 112 pages. Steinbeck tells a complete, heartbreaking story very efficiently. There's no wasted words. Every scene serves the plot. Yes, it's incredibly sad, but it's also compelling and beautifully written without being pretentious. It's great for people who want to experience Steinbeck's genius without committing to the grapes of wrath, which is like this thick. Animal Farm by George Orwell. This is political allegory disguised as a farmyard fable. Genius concept, entertaining execution. At 112 pages, Orwell packs revolution, corruption, and power dynamics into a story about talking animals that manages to be both accessible and profound. You can read it as a simple animal story, or you can dive into the political meaning, but either way, it's genuinely engaging rather than preachy. The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. Now, I can't find my copy of this book either, although I do own it, and again, I've read it. So I'm going to put a cover up here in the corner. But this is jazz age excess, mysterious millionaire, unreliable narrator, tragic romance. This has all the elements of a great drama. At 180 pages, Fitzgerald captures the American dream's dark side with style and flair. The parties, the mysteries surrounding Gatsby, the social commentary. It reads like a high-end soap opera with literary merit, much more entertaining than its reputation might suggest. The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. This Victorian comedy of manners is genuinely hilarious. Wilde's wit still lands over 125 years later. The plot involves fake identities, mistaken engagements, and social satire that skewers upper-class pretensions. It's funny, clever, and proves that classic literature can be pure entertainment. It's perfect for people who think old books can't be genuinely amusing. Cold Comfort Farm by Stella Gibbons. This 1930s novel parodies the rural misery genre, and it's absolutely delightful. Flora Post decides to impose order on her dramatic country relatives, and hilarity ensues. It's Jane Austen-level social comedy with a modern sensibility. The humor holds up perfectly, and it's refreshing to find a classic that's intentionally funny rather than accidentally ridiculous. 3 Men in a Boat by Jerome K. Jerome. Victorian comedy about a boating trip that goes wonderfully wrong. Jerome's observations about friendship, travel, and human nature are timeless and genuinely funny. It's like a 19th century travel memoir mixed with comedy sketches. The humor is gentle and observational. Perfect comfort reading that happens to be literature. Tom Sawyer by Mark Twain. Childhood adventure on the Mississippi River. This is pure entertainment that happens to be American literature. Tom's schemes, the friendship with Huck, the famous fence painting scene. Twain crafted a genuinely fun adventure story. It captures the freedom and mischief of childhood while painting a vivid picture of 19th century America. Adventure first, literature second. P.G. Wodehouse, The Jeeves Stories. These early 20th century comedy stories about the bumbling Bertie Wooster and his brilliant valet Jeeves are pure literary comfort food. Wodehouse's humor is sophisticated but accessible. The plots are delightfully absurd, and the writing is elegant without being stuffy. Yes, this is also where the Jeeves the butler trope comes from, and these stories are genuinely delightful. It's a perfect gateway into British humor. And if you've stuck around to the end of the list, I have an 11th pick for you. And that is The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Now, this is all 5 of the books in this series, so don't be alarmed. That's why it's so thick. But if we're counting science fiction classics, which I definitely am, this absurdist space comedy is essential popcorn literature. Adams created a universe where the answer to life's meaning is 42. And somehow it makes perfect sense. Philosophical questions wrapped in completely ridiculous scenarios. It's smart without being pretentious, and funny without being dated. It's one of my favorite books. It's good. What makes these popcorn is that they prove classics don't have to be punishment. These authors knew how to entertain audiences. They were the best sellers of their time. We've just convinced ourselves that if literature is important, it must be difficult. These books destroy that myth. They're proof that you can have literary merit and page-turning entertainment. I think this popcorn concept works across multiple genres, and I've already covered popcorn thrillers. If you missed that video, I'll put a link in the description box below. And I'm planning on doing a few more popcorn videos, popcorn historical fiction, maybe even popcorn horror for people who scare easily. The goal is always the same: entertainment that happens to be good for you, like sneaking vegetables into a delicious meal. And I'm quite good at that because I've had many years' experience trying to get my kids to eat vegetables. So, which of these classics are you going to add to your TBR? Have you read any that surprised you with how entertaining they were? And what other genres should I tackle next in this series? Let me know in the comments. I love discovering that books I thought would be work are actually just pure fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more Popcorn Series episodes where I prove that good literature doesn't have to feel like medicine. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.